Okay, you are not going to believe this. So, you've all seen the photos and the videos of these massive barges being shipped across the ocean full of Canada's plastic waste. It gets shipped to countries like the Philippines and other South Asian Pacific nations. So it gets there, sometimes it just sits there, and then sometimes it gets shipped back, and sometimes it gets dumped in the ocean. But regardless, it's a terrible practice. It's just terrible. It's horrible for our oceans. It's terrible for our environment in general. It's terrible. It's a degrading practice. And so yesterday, a conservative colleague of mine, there was a bill that was put forward, and it would stop this practice. It would prevent plastic waste from being shipped to other countries. It would make it illegal for Canada to do so. Get this. So the Liberal members voted against this common sense piece of legislation, this bill that would help to look after the environment. I find that very interesting. Now, here's another point to consider. Currently, right now, we ship about 44,000 tons of plastic waste to these other countries. To put that in perspective, that's over 97 million pounds. That's a ton of garbage that we are putting on barges and we are shipping across the ocean to other countries to deal with. Again, there was a piece of legislation put on the table by a colleague of mine that would have stopped this practice. What did the Liberals do? They voted against it. Why did they vote against it? I don't know. No reason was given. But here's one of the things that I think is clear, is that, look, like, instead of dumping our garbage in the backyard of another, we have the ability to actually deal with it here. We have Canadians who are incredibly innovative, incredibly intelligent, who have solutions where we can actually properly recycle this stuff. So why continue the practice of shipping it overseas? The Liberals voted no. And I think one of the things that's really clear about this is that they really are just about appearances rather than doing something tangible for the environment. So, Trudeau often talks about we need an increased carbon tax in order to do our part. Well, but yet it's still okay to continue shipping our plastic to other countries? That's not okay. So, in addition to that, maybe you'll remember that when Trudeau, he was chastising Canadians. He chastised Canadians for using too much fuel because it was harming the environment. But then in the 2019 election, we found out that he wasn't crossing the country with just one jet, but two. So it took 2 planes to bring Trudeau everywhere that he was going during the 2019 election. You want to know what we found out? We found out that one of those planes was for the purpose of carrying his canoe and his tickle trunk full of his costumes. I guess you never know what outfit you're going to need while you're on the road, hey? Okay. This is the same type of thing. Again, the Liberals, the Prime Minister, had an opportunity to vote for a bill that just makes sense. It takes care of the environment. It makes sure that we as Canadians are playing the role we need to play on the world stage. We're taking leadership. Trudeau voted no. That's wrong. So he's forcing Canadians to pay more in a carbon tax. It's increasing this spring. He talks a ton about the importance of protecting the environment. But I think what we discovered last night in a really tangible way is that he talks and talks and talks and talks, but isn't willing to walk the walk. This was an opportunity for him to do that. He didn't. But here's the thing, is that despite the Liberals' attempt at killing this bill that was brought forward by a Conservative colleague of mine, the other opposition parties joined forces with us, saw the need for it, and voted in favor. So as a result, the good news is the bill did pass into the next reading, and we will continue to go forward with greater debate on this topic. Hopefully, this bill will turn into law and will serve Canadians really well in the future. As a Conservative Member of Parliament, I continue here on the Hill with my colleagues to advocate for Canadians and to put forward smart policy that will actually take care of our environment.